2, 3, 4. Hey everyone, welcome back to Music with Ryan. Thanks for joining me. In this week's lesson, we're going to take a look at a original composition entitled Down in Drop D. And as that title states, I've lowered my E string down to a D note to match the middle D there. So drop D is often what it's called. And it works great for kind of this dreadnought guitar. It's got such a great voice in this lower register, and it's just crisp, it's clear, it's loud, and just so it makes a lot of fun to play something like this and dig into using those lower strings. We're going to be covering a wide range of topics in this lesson. I've written up an A and a B part, or the tune has an A and a B part, but I've written up an A, a B, and a second A. So we're going to be talking about playing what they call the head. We're going to be talking about playing that. It's like a riff or a melody together, like kind of with the whole band. We're going to talk about phrasing in the second A parts. We're going to be exploring a wide range of the fretboard and minor pentatonic scales and mixing them with some major sounding notes. So there's going to be lots of concepts to check out in this lesson. I've been getting a lot of requests lately from members to go in depth, a little bit more in depth about why and how I'm creating these arrangements. So I'm going to do that for this lesson because there's just a lot going on here. And I'm going to make a couple separate video clips all about this. So we'll have, the video lesson going through note for note for the whole arrangement, but then a couple separate video clips on, again, my approach, why I'm choosing the notes I'm choosing. People are asking me about like what I'm thinking about when I'm writing or taking the solo, like again, the approach that I'm using, the scales, the positions, and so forth. So it's going to be an in-depth look. I'm going to cover the arrangement, I think, just like go through it phrase by phrase or section by section and just talk about, hey, I was thinking about doing this. I'm moving through, I'm playing over the changes here. I'm moving through this scale here. And just to give you an in-depth look about how I'm approaching this lesson, I know more folks are after that sort of thing, an explanation, so I'm going to do it for this lesson and hopefully more lessons in the future. And as always, if you want to download the tabs, the audio tracks, and access the full-length version for this, click the link in the description below. Let's walk through this lesson. All right, so let's take a look at the arrangement here, and there's a few things to note before we get going. Of course, we're in drop D, so I've only changed one string. Okay, so this was the E string, of course, but then I've lowered it down to D, so one step down to match this D right here. Okay, and that's all I've done. Alternate tuning, if you will. But drop D, E string goes down to a D note. Also, this tune is not quite major nor minor, okay? So it definitely has a minor sound and feel to it. However, I'm not playing a minor chord, and I'm not playing a major chord necessarily, and I'm doing a D9, as you'll see on the tab here in a second, and I've got the high E string open. So, and I'm gonna finger it a little different here using my second and my pinky. You can use 1 and 3 as well. But again, that open E is a D9, and it gives us, it just kind of opens things up and gives us more notes to choose from. So the other thing I want to make note before we dive into the arrangement is the way we're going to feel the tune, okay? There's a couple different ways to do this, and for a little while it was troublesome to figure out how to write it out. As you notice, there's going to be 16th notes in this piece. I don't often have 16th notes, and that's because we are going to be doing a very slow 4/4 time, okay? Now, I could have felt this in a different way or written it out in a different way, which would make everything twice as long. So let me explain. We're going to be feeling this, again, slow 4/4, which means I'm going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's kind of an accent on every beat. 1, 2, you know, real hard down the downbeat there. I could have also felt it as in 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So the accents would be on 1 and 3. Again, it would have made the whole piece twice as long if you write it out. But I decided to go with the other way, again, slow 4/4, repeating myself here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, that's where the 16th notes come into play. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, I'm going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So it doesn't really change the way it sounds, right? It's more about reading it on the paper and feeling it as well. Again, if that doesn't necessarily make sense to you or it's a bit confusing, just play along with the audio tracks and tap your foot, because everything's real hard, you know, like boom, boom, and groove and feel is always important, but particularly for this piece, to really get into it, you're going to want to make sure you feel things very well. And yeah, let's put the tabs up on the screen now. This tune has an intro, okay, a 4-bar intro, and then it gets into the A part. So let me play these first 3 measures, and then we'll break them down here. So 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Getting things groovy right away. And this tune is like a slow 4/4, you know. We're gonna feel it in 2 eventually, you know. We're gonna definitely, that's gonna be the feel, but I'm gonna be counting. It's written out in a slow 4/4. So that first measure, again, I'm fingering my D chord with the second on the G, pinky on the B, 3rd fret there, and it's a half note tied to a chord note. Could be a dotted half note, however you want to think about it, but it's 3 counts there. So 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to hammer 0 to 3 on the A string, and it's 1 E and 1 E and. We're going to see that rhythm a lot. 1, 2, 3, and you can do a downstroke here too. I know a lot of times in the performance I would do an upstroke. I would do the opposite, kind of a brush stroke, but starting at the high string, and it gives it just, you know, a little bit of an effect, which I really like as well. So you can do either one, but 1, 2, 3, 4 E and then we go on to the next measure, open D. Then we do a little bit of a strumming pattern here, so that's the pattern we're going to use an awful lot here. So down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. Now there's a little tie in the middle, you'll notice, and you'll notice that there's a double upstroke in there. That's, you know, the tie is creating that. And we want to make sure our right hand is always going back and forth, even if we're hitting the strings or not. So we want to have, have the right hand needs to be in the groove, right? You need to be in the flow of things. 1, 2. Even when I'm just playing that first quarter note, my right hand's still moving up and down. Okay, so I'll keep reminding you about this as we go through it, but I just want to get that, because we're going to be seeing this a lot here. So, and then 0-3 hammer on the A again. Then we move on to the next measure, open A, same strumming pattern. 0-3 hammer on the low string, and I will bend it. I was having some problems adding the bend in with, in my editor on the computer there. So I will bend it. You don't have to, you can do as written, but I do a lot of just half step bending with that 3rd fret low string there. So, and we'll end on a low string there. So all 4 of those measures there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. And as you notice, even when I'm doing those hammer-ons, and there's a little bit of a tie in there as well, my right hand is still going up and down, and I might even catch the strings just ever so slightly. It's very subtle. But whatever I can do to keep, my right hand in the pocket, in the groove. So, I just barely touched them there. Okay, and then moving on here to 4, 5, and 6. So measure 4 is the last measure of the intro, and measure 5 is the official start to the A part. We have a pickup into that A part as well. So, okay, then we get into everything. This A part will be playing the head, okay? This is a term kind of more used in jazz music, I would say, but it's still a term that we use in all of music. It's just in jazz they play the head a lot. It's the melody, essentially. And here we're going to be doing that. We're going to be playing the melody, kind of the bass line is the melody here. We're going to be doing it with the whole band. So when you're playing along with the audio tracks, this is kind of what's going on. We're lining everything up, and it has just a great, it's just fun and almost easy to do, is just play this head right along with the band. So in measure 4 there, again, I landed on the low string, which is the D note, and I did my strumming pattern. And then we have a pickup, 0 on the A, 2 on the A. There's a tie there, and then open G. Syncopated, 4 E, and then measure 5, we get into a C chord, play the bass note, strum, go down to 2 on the A, which is C/B, strum, and we go down to open A, which is C/A, strum, and then 3rd fret low E, well, the low D string now, and we're going to bend and then pull. And when I pull off, I'm going to pull off on the downbeat, and I'm also going to pluck the D string as well at the same time. A little tricky business. You don't have to pluck this D string if it's too troublesome, but it's 1, 4, 1. I'm pulling off and plucking a note at the exact same time. And and they're both D notes. 1, 4, 1. Okay, and it just gives it more oomph. Whoop. Okay, so really practice that. If that's troublesome, again, you can just, if plucking the other D string throws you off, you can just pull off and move forward. But then I do my strumming pattern, and then do the pickup again. 4 and 4 E and 4 E and. Okay, let me play all 4 of those for you. 3, 4. I guess it's only 3 measures there. I'm used to 4 at a time. And as you heard there, I didn't quite get that pull off as loud as I wanted to with on measure 6, you know, landing on the downbeat there. And that's okay, but that's kind of what I'm striving for a lot of the time when I'm playing the head, if you will. So let's move on to the measure 7 and 8, which add 2 more measures here. Again, we had the pickup, measure 7. So right here we're playing the head. We get 3 on the A strum, 2 strum, then open A, and now I'm just gonna throw in a little bit of a lick right in between things here to spice it up. Okay, minor sounding lick. So open A, and then 0-3 hammer on the A, open D, open A. 3-4 slide on the D, and then we land on the D string. We do our strumming pattern and our pickup. This time I'm going to hammer it on the A string, and then open G. Okay, then moving on to 9 and 10. We're still playing that head. And then the pickup again. So measure 9. Again, we start out the same way. We do this little walk down with the C chord. And here, just a slightly different lick, right? Again, I just slightly bend that note on the 3rd fret low E. Well, that's the low D string, sorry. Then strum, and then our pickup. And then moving on, one more time, I'll do 11 and 12. Measure 13 officially starts the B part. So, but let's play 11 and 12 here, focusing on finishing up this first A. And open A. Now we're going to do a lick, right? A, open A, 3-4 slide on the A. Open A again, 3-4 slide on the low D. And then open low D and strum down, down, up, up, down, 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 up. And I finished the strumming pattern out just a little bit more there in measure 12. So let me go ahead and play through from the beginning, the intro and the first A part, so you can hear it all go by. So from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. 1, 2. Okay, there it is.